The election of a president shall take place, these are the keywords, on the second Tuesday in August in the 5th year. Tuesday, August in the 5th year. When you count, first and foremost, consider this. It is said it is done inside the 5th year, inside it, not after, not every. It is done inside the 5th year. So your duty as a citizen is to ask yourself, when is the 5th year? And to find the 5th year, you go to the date of the last election. The last election was on the 9th of August. Are we clear on that one?
Yeah.
In our Constitution, Article 259, it tells you how to count years. It tells you count a year from the date prescribed to the eve of the corresponding date in the next year. So 9th of August 2022 runs until the 8th of August 2023. That is year 1. Year 2 runs from 9th of August 23 to 8th of August 24. That is year 2. Year 3 runs from 9th of August 24 to 8th of August 25. That is year 3. Year 4 runs from 9th of August 25. 9th of August 25 to 8th of August 26 August. That is for 4 years. The most important part, year 5, when does it start running? It starts running from the 9th of August 2026 and it ends on the 8th of August 2027. Are you together? Now between the 9th of August 2026 to 8th of August 2027, you are supposed to find the second Tuesday in August. The second Tuesday in August. And that second Tuesday in August from the 9th of August 26 can only fall in which year? The year 2026. You have been told this is your constitution. This is your constitution. We are reading Article 136. Article 136 says, conduct your elections on the second Tuesday in August inside the 5th year. The 5th year we have established runs from the 9th of August 2026, write it down, and it ends on the 8th of August 2027. And you are told to look for the second Tuesday inside that 5th year in August. That second Tuesday can only be in which year? 2026. So why are we waiting for Kumi Bila break? From where? What has been happening is people have refused to accept that the 5-year term that was in Section 9 of the old Constitution was done away with. It was removed. We came up with a new system. We divorced term of office from the election cycle. We have our own election cycle, which is a 4-year election cycle. Because inside the 5th year, we must conduct our elections. You serve for 4 years, you start your 5th year, we look for the second Tuesday in August inside that 5th year, and we do elections. That is the law. And to show you that this has happened before, those who remember Uhuru Kenyatta was elected president on the first term on the 4th of March 2013, right? He was sworn into office on the 9th of April 2013. Let us do the same math, how the elections were done inside the 5th year. So elections done on the 4th of March 2013, year 1 runs from 4th of March 2013 to 3rd of March 2014. That is year? Year 2, 4th of March 2014 to 3rd of March 2015. Year 3, 4th of March 2015 to 4th of March 2016. Year 4, 4th of March 2016 to 3rd of March 20. Year 5, important again. Year 5 ran from 4th of March 2017 to 4th of March 2018. We went inside to look for the second Tuesday in August inside that 5th year. And the second Tuesday fell on the 8th of August 2017. Is that not what we did?
Yeah.
We did our elections on the 8th of August 2017. Why didn't we say that Uhuru Kenyatta wait for 2018 for the first elections? Because you have 5 years. Because we were applying the constitution. And I also want you to remember this. The only person in the constitution who has been given a 5-year term is somebody called an MCA. Owino, my brother here, was an MCA at the time, serving here in Nairobi County. When Owino and his colleagues were told to go for elections on the 8th of August 2017, they said, no, my 5-year term has not ended. Article 177(4). They went to court. The court told them, we agree. The constitution says your 5-year term, but the same constitution says your election must be conducted with the others on the second Tuesday of August inside the 5th year. Owino will tell you they went home without the full 5 years, without any compensation. Why is it a problem today when we ask it that the same provisions of the constitution which were used then to be used now, and IEBC must organize for us elections next year in August on the second Tuesday? It's pure and simple. But why is it difficult? Majority of our citizens, even here, everybody thinks that a president, an MP, a governor, an MCA is entitled to serve for 5 years. Remove it from your head. They are not. Nobody is given 5 years in our constitution. So remove it. And if an MP, a president went to office thinking he had 5 years, I'm sorry. You should have read the law. You should have looked at the previous practice and known you are going to serve for 4 years, and in the 5th year, you are going to leave office. It's pure and simple. What happens if you do an election in 2017, 2027? Do you know what your constitution says? Anybody who attempts to form a government outside this constitution shall be guilty of treason. That is your penal code. Trying to establish an administration outside the constitution is treason. So even IEBC and any political party that attempts to participate in elections outside the 5th year, in the 6th year, they will be committing treason against the people of Kenya. As the people of Kenya, you have a responsibility to take ownership of your constitution and demand that the constitution needs to be respected and applied fully as it is. I hope that is clear, unless there's any question that anybody may have for me to clarify. We did not go to court. Remember, Kibaki was elected under the old constitution.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was elected to serve, as I said, under section 9 for 5 years. This new constitution had provided in the 6th schedule, transition provisions, that the parliament that is in office at the time of the enactment of the constitution will serve for the entire term duration that is remaining of its term. That parliament's term was coming to an end on the 15th of January 2013. And the transition provisions also provided that upon the dissolution of that parliament and the dissolution of the Grand Coalition government then, we shall hold our first elections within 60 days. 60 days was ending on the 15th of March 2013. IEBC then chose the 4th of March to be the elections date. So it was well within the law to conduct that election. The second question, are my thoughts in line with Nyachae's thoughts? I have not had occasion to share these views with Nyachae, and I know him to be a regime apologist. He wants to serve, and I don't expect anybody who is holding a public office to share these thoughts. Why? They are benefiting. To them, if you are giving them an extra 1 year in office, they'll be happy. I don't think, but I've not yet consulted with him to hear his thoughts. The question about when does the 5th year start? Very important question. In terms of counting, I want you to understand these two things. We have two concepts, election cycle and term of office.
Right.
Don't mix the two.
Yes.
Term of office is standalone. Election cycle is also standalone. That is why we conduct elections even when the president or the member of parliament is still in office. The elections are conducted when they are still in office. The election cycle is self-executing. It is not contingent on the term expiring. Once the election has been conducted and a new person elected, that is when now the term expires. And I tie to the question that was asked by Ochi, that will Ruto serve for 20 years. Always remember this. Our provisions in the Constitution on elections, the cycle of elections I'm telling you about, it is self-executing. Every 5th year, inside the 5th year from the last, we must go to elections. So no, Ruto cannot serve for 20 years, he cannot serve for 10 years without elections. Because for us, as Kenyans, as per our Constitution, every 5th year, we go and conduct elections on the 2nd Tuesday in August that falls inside the 5th year. What is the exact date? The exact date will be 11th of August 2026. Somebody may, next year, on the dot. Somebody may argue for 18th of August. That is if you say we only take the August that falls inside the 5th year. But if you take August the month, it will be the 11th of August 2026 as the date of our elections. Any other date can only be the 3rd of August, the 3rd August, the 4th August, the 5th August. In fact, to put this thing into context, there is no 2nd Tuesday of August that falls in the year 2027. There's none. There is no 2nd Tuesday in August the year 2027 that falls inside the 5th year. That date in 2027 falls outside the 5th year. The 5th year ends on the 8th of August 2027. There is no 2nd Tuesday in that period. Okay? There is no period. Remember, your cutoff date is the 8th of August 2027. Anything outside 8th of August 27 is now in the 6th year. The basic structure, yes, I agree. This is part of the basic structure of our Constitution because it's a self-executing provision of the Constitution that the sovereign, the people, are using to donate their sovereignty. That is why it is important that our Constitution did not convolute the basic structure together with the term of office. It is a self-executing mechanism for the people to go and conduct their elections. It is not left in the hands of a politician to decide for you when elections are going to be held. Remember before, the president would use the election date as a secret weapon. Moi used to do it a lot. I will decide when to dissolve parliament. It's my secret weapon. I catch the opposition off guard and I rig the elections. And just to briefly touch on the questions about the threshold. ICC, you don't need to kill 1,000 people for the threshold to be met. The only basic thing you need to do is you must prove that the attack is against a civilian population. Number 2, it is systemic. And number 3, it is widespread. The killings that have taken place here in Kenya, the abductions, they are done by an organized group, right? The police, the organized group. They are targeting civilian population. It is civilians being killed and being abducted. They are systemic and they are widespread. The threshold has been met for ICC. And I know there are some groups that are trying to push to open up cases before the ICC in respect to the situation in Kenya that led to the deaths and the abductions and the forced disappearances. But I also hasten to add this. We don't have to wait for ICC alone. We have now something in law called the universal jurisdiction concept. For those who are alive or attuned to international law or news, there's a time when there was a warrant of arrest issued against Kagame in Belgium and France. You can go to courts that have jurisdiction, that have adopted the concept of universal jurisdiction, where certain countries have said any death to a human being, any, they value human life, that even if you kill somebody in Kenya, and it is done in a way that constitutes crimes against humanity, we as a country, we can exercise jurisdiction and try that person, even in absentia. So don't be surprised if one day you see a warrant of arrest issued against William Ruto or Bungei in France or in Belgium for what has happened here in Kenya. Kenyans are exploring those as options beyond just ICC. And you can be tried in so many other jurisdictions. The other thing that I want to say as I conclude on this, you know, one thing that Kenyans have not appreciated. When you read your constitution, the structure of drafting was purely an American model. That is why you have a pure presidential system. You rejected the parliamentary system. You rejected the hybrid. You went pure presidential. That's American. You came up with a bicameral parliament, Senate and National Assembly. Just like in America, Senate and House of Reps. You came up with a Supreme Court. That's American concept. Commonwealth, we always have constitutional court. You go to parliament, you find majority side, minority side. Those are American concepts. In common law, it's normally the government side and the opposition. So also, in terms of term, the cycle of elections, you went 4 years. In America, the elections are every 4 years. You serve for 4 years, then we do elections inside the 5th year. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You know, I did the case of Maina Kiai, and what you are trying to kill in Maina Kiai case was boomers. Elections must take place at the polling station. You tally at the constituency. Then every constituency makes their declaration. I told you we were Americanized. In America, they do elections per state. For us, it was per constituency. Then every constituency makes the declaration. Everybody tallies. Then the IEBC chairman will later on, after 7 days, do the official declaration. In the US, you see the media making their projections the next day after elections, because they have witnessed at the respective states the declarations that have been made by the returning officers at that level. So also in Kenya, what happened? IEBC knew what we were doing. They decided to enter into a conspiracy with our media houses. And they told them, don't announce what the constitutional returning officer is doing. Come to Bomas and feed from our portal. That is why nobody ever shows you a constituency RO doing the tallying of presidential votes. They only show you what IEBC is projecting at Bomas. We are going back to court against those media houses.
Thank you.
We have a right to information. And that right to information is, since the court has said that the results at the polling station are final, they need to show us the tallying process as done in the respective constituency for those votes. They don't have to come to Bomas, where not even a single ballot paper ever lands. Not a single ballot paper gets to Bomas. Only figures. And that is where they steal your sovereignty. You've asked me about a request to Jimmy. I will say this. I will say this. You've requested for Mr. Wanjigi to come and discuss and share with you information about our public debt. I have received the request, and I will also relay the information to him and liaise with the Speaker and the other officials to make sure that even him, as an aspiring leader in the country, he must come here, give his information, and take questions from the members. You know, before I conclude, there's something I want to tell you about Bunge. You may not know it or you know it. The concept of Bunge started from what is called the tennis court strategy. What was that strategy about? It reached a point where in some country in Europe, the government, the king, had become rogue. And the people decided that we are going to talk as a people on our tennis court. And we are going to make decisions affecting us directly on our own. And that congregation became so big that even the elected officials who have been bought by the king, for them to even find us standing in the community, they had to go to the tennis court and take an oath that I will abide by what the tennis court has said. The decisions of the tennis court. So also in me, I want to challenge you. We need to have a situation where in Kenya, if Bunge is representing the interest of the people, not those people sitting at Parliament Road, you must have your own minimum charter of what anybody who aspires to lead and to talk to the people must sign up to. Otherwise, they will be using you. They go to Parliament Road, some go to State House Road, and they do the exact opposite of what the Constitution provides. The final point I make is this. As I said, I'm a reverend lawyer. I'm a Reverend Lawyer Otieno. And I draw my inspiration from the book of Hosea. My people suffer for lack of knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge. My people, the people of Kenya, us, we are perishing because we do not have enough knowledge. But the ways of the world are all written. We've just not taken time to internalize them. My duty is just to help us share information so that we can demand that which is rightfully ours. As to mwelekeo, when the time comes, today was not for me to politic. But when the time comes, if I'm invited here as a political leader, I will come and discuss my politics and why I believe that if we continue with these legacy politicians, this country will never change. 60 years of legacy politics, we are here. we have an opportunity to say 60 is enough. It should be a new journey that brings new ideas, not those who've been in politics for 60 years. The cumulative effect of their 60 years is a broke country, state of joblessness, collapsing healthcare system, a desperate youth population, abductions, killings. Is that the future that we want for our people? So I will not even join any coalition that is a coalition of legacy politics that is meant to discuss or share positions for people up there. The only coalition that I'll ever be part of or engage with is a coalition that is about the common good. The terms of the coalition agreement should be that we are forming a coalition and we commit that VAT on fuel will drop from 16% to 8%. And you don't need government, you don't need to be in government to reduce that VAT. When it's a commitment with the people of Kenya, we'll be saying, since the people of Kenya who are the ones who pay VAT, if this coalition is elected, just go and compute your machine and make it 8% VAT. That's our commitment. So I will discuss that at an appropriate time. And there's a lot that I can discuss on my politics. And it is all about the common good and economic liberation and independence to the people of Kenya. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. But only let me say this. I say this because we must be very careful. Ruto is bad, and we are done with Ruto. But Ruto'ism lives in some of these people. Yeah. You may remove William Ruto, but you may elect Ruto's child, another Ruto. So anybody who aspires for leadership should be able to tell us, what is it? What next? How will you solve this problem? And they come here and we discuss the proposals. You test them. Don't just say, because I have a big name, you should elect me president. Maybe I'm worse than Ruto. We want to remove the entire system that gives birth to Ruto'S and Ruto'isms, and it keeps perpetuating itself. It must be a new journey for the people of Kenya. May God bless you. IEBC has officers in the entire secretariat, from a messenger, a clerk, to every constituency as a constituency manager, who is paid a salary every month. He is given operation and administrative expenses for every month. Even if you go today to register as a voter, they should be able to register you as a voter today. The functions of IEBC are fully funded by the Kenyan people as at today. What we do not have is the policy leadership. That is what commissioners bring. Is 1 year a short time? In 2017, Chebukati and his team were appointed in January, end of January, early February, for elections that are supposed to be held in August. Didn't you do the elections? When they stole the elections, did the Supreme Court of Kenya catch them? So, we can still do it. It is good practice, to put it, it is good practice to have the commission in office for a longer. It is good practice. But the failure to have it in office, or to have it in a short time to the election date, not fatal, but it should not undermine the provisions of the Constitution.
Thank you very much.